Hi students, I hope you're doing well. I'm really sorry we're unable to be together over the next couple of weeks for classes and activities. So I will be providing you with 3 short videos over the next week leading up to Thanksgiving. I hope you will take some time as we talk about these things to consider how much you and I have to be thankful for, even when the world seems to keep spinning in a never-ending cycle and pattern of chaos. I love Thanksgiving. Of course, my favorite part is the food, but I have so many memories with my family of Thanksgivings in the past. For me, Thanksgiving is about family and food and football and hunting. I don't know what you like most about this holiday, but I think we all know what it's supposed to be about, right? It's about being thankful. It's about zooming out on your life and getting enough perspective to see that you've got some good things going on. You may be going through some tough times, but there is always some good that God is working in your life for which you can be thankful. However, in these 3 videos, I don't want to talk about mere thankfulness. Actually, I want to rotate Thanksgiving 180 degrees and look at it from another angle. I want to speak to you today about complaining. The opposite of giving thanks is complaining, right? I don't know about you, but I catch myself complaining quite often. To be honest, when I start to think about it, I start to notice it more in my life, and I realize how bad this habit is for me. I think we're all guilty of this. But I am so thankful that Thanksgiving is a holiday because it is the antidote to the pool of complaining that I have been swimming in. I truly believe that complaining seizes our joy. We need to shake off the shadow that has become our most devoted follower. We need to live every day like it's Thanksgiving, but maybe without all the gluttony. Wouldn't you know, the Bible has a lot to teach us about this subject. To help us with this little series, I want to zero in on the Israelites, or the Jews, God's chosen people. They were huge complainers. When you read through the Old Testament and see some of the things that they said and did, you will realize that they were so annoying. And these were God's favorites? This was the lineage that would lead to Jesus? And yet, over and over again, we see that they were grumblers. I think we're going to see that we can relate to them, though, maybe more than we'd like to admit. To understand all of this, you have to go all the way back to the story of Joseph. You may remember he was sold into slavery by his brothers. He was sent to Egypt, and he eventually worked his way up to become Pharaoh's right-hand man. His family later moved to Egypt during the 7-year famine that Joseph had saved Egypt from. So they settled there, and eventually Joseph died. And as time went on, the new Pharaoh forgot about Joseph and all that he had done. So he put them into slavery for hundreds of years, because he had become intimidated by the way the Israelite nation was multiplying. Fast forward a few hundred years until the time of Moses. Now, maybe you remember the story of Moses leading God's people out of Egypt following a series of plagues, which culminated in the parting of the Red Sea and God's people entering into the wilderness. You want to know what's crazy? At least twice during that whole ordeal, when Moses was leading them out of captivity, they complained about their new life. They were actually upset about being rescued from slavery. Here's what I want you to realize today from the Israelites' example. Complaining is a drain. Did you know that there is psychological research that suggests that making a habit of complaining can actually rewire your brain so that this type of thinking becomes ingrained? This means that your brain becomes accustomed to complaining. So you do it more and more and more and more. In one series of studies, researchers tracked people's moods before and after hearing a complaint. As predicted, listening to others complaining made people feel worse. And the complainer also felt worse. It is so draining. Complaining is all around us. But choosing to not complain is refreshing and actually sets you apart from the world because it is countercultural in its very nature. Philippians 4:14 says, "Do everything without complaining and arguing so that no one can criticize you." What do you complain about the most? How are you draining yourself and others by griping and whining, even when it's just in your head and not even out loud. We get to choose our attitude. Bad things will happen to us. At some point, we are going to get blasted by a crashing wave, and we can't control that. But we can choose the attitude in which we will respond. Complaining doesn't fix your situation or make it better. It only makes it worse. Let's stop the drain game and choose to turn our emotions into prayers or solutions to the problems we face. Keep your eyes open for part 2 of this series, coming your way in a couple of days. I love and miss all of you, and I pray that you will be blessed and overwhelmed with thankfulness.